Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we deliver the crucial knowledge you need, skipping all the noise.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into something pretty intense. It's that absolute chaos of split-second decision-making on the road. We're not talking about, speeding tickets or merging. We're talking about the moment an everyday drive just explodes into a crisis
Hey.
because of some sudden, unavoidable obstacle right there in front of your vehicle.
And this is really the essence of true defensive driving.
Yeah.
You often hear it called the second golden rule, expect the unexpected. Our mission today is to sort of cut through that panic. We want to give you a clear, practical roadmap for those critical milliseconds. We'll show you when to act, when to stop, and how to do it to minimize physical damage and, just as important, avoid some pretty significant legal trouble.
Okay, so when we say obstacle here, we're not just talking about like a fallen tree. It can be a lot smaller.
Oh, absolutely. It could be anything. A piece of debris from a truck,
Yeah.
a large animal that just leaps into your lane. And when that happens, the danger isn't just one thing. It multiplies almost instantly. Yeah, we saw four main layers of risk identified across the reports we looked at. First, there's the immediate loss of vehicle control. Your panicked reaction, slamming the brakes or yanking the wheel, is often what actually causes the crash.
Not the obstacle itself.
Exactly, the reaction. Second, you're looking at significant vehicle damage. And a lot of that is hidden, which we can get into later.
And the other two.
So third is a huge increase in the likelihood of a tire blowout on impact, which of course just makes that loss of control problem 10 times worse. And finally, there's the high risk of a secondary accident. You might navigate the obstacle perfectly, but your erratic move could cause the car next to you or behind you to crash. The dangers are they're severe. That's why being prepared is everything.
Okay, let's unpack this landscape of hazards. When I think of road debris, I picture something obvious, like a tire tread or, a lost tarp from a truck. But the information we compiled lists, over a dozen common hazard types? And a lot of them are surprisingly subtle.
That's a really key point. We have to look beyond just debris. Think about things that are part of the road, but become a hazard through wear and tear, like sunken or raised manhole covers. Those can absolutely destroy a low-profile tire and rim.
Oh.
Or uneven railroad tracks, where that jarring impact just causes so much wear on your car's suspension.
And you pointed out one that I think people really underestimate, roadkill. It sounds, awful, but the danger isn't just seeing it.
That's right. Roadkill, especially larger animals, creates a few specific dangers. Hitting it, you risk major underbody damage. But swerving can cause you to lose control, especially if the road is wet. And even if you just drive over it, the material can be surprisingly slippery. It can cause this momentary but really dangerous loss of traction. It's why it's specifically listed as a major hazard.
That brings us to predictive driving. I mean, if you can anticipate when the road is going to throw hazards at you, you're already way safer. So what are the key seasonal or time-based risks we should be planning for?
We can connect these risks directly to environmental cycles. Take spring. Spring is peak season for potholes, no question. It's all because of those freeze-thaw cycles. Water gets in the cracks, freezes, expands, and then boom, you've got a massive crater. Then in autumn, you have this dual threat, fallen leaves.
Right, you said they act like camouflage for dangers.
They do more than that. I mean, they create this incredibly slippery, wet mulch that can be almost like ice. But yes, they also hide the worst hazards, like those deep, rim-destroying potholes, until you were literally right on top of them. That fraction of a second you lose. It can be the difference between avoiding damage and eating a tow truck.
And what about the time of day?
Nighttime. Always high risk. Your headlights only give you so much visibility, right? So your reaction time is just slashed compared to daylight. And this is critical because wildlife deer, especially, are most active between dusk and dawn. So that risk just skyrockets. Oh, and always expect more debris during and after a post-storm cleanup.
So knowing when the road is dangerous, how do we physically maximize our chances of actually avoiding debris? We found two key tactical strategies. One's about positioning, and the other is about distance.
And they're totally intertwined. The first is lane positioning. If you're on a multi-lane highway, the sources recommend driving in the center lane whenever you can.
That makes sense for visibility, but doesn't that sometimes feel like you're boxed in, like you lose the shoulder as an escape route?
That's a fair question, but the benefit usually outweighs that risk. The center lane gives you maximum evasive options. If you spot something, you usually have room to move left or right. You're not immediately stuck between a guardrail and traffic. It just gives you flexibility.
Okay, understood. And the second one is following distance, which the sources really hammer home, especially behind big commercial trucks.
This goes so far beyond the standard 3-second rule. When you're behind a VIG rig, it completely blocks your view of the road ahead. If that truck hits something or swerves around something, they'll react long before you even see the threat. You're left with milliseconds. Doubling or even tripling your following distance behind large trucks is. It's just non-negotiable. It's your insurance policy.
Okay, let's get into that white-knuckle moment. You've spotted the hazard, your instinct is screaming at you to slam the brakes or yank the wheel. What are the immediate response guidelines we should all have, mentally rehearsed?
Rehearsal is the key word there, because panic is the enemy. The first rule is absolute. Stay calm. Panicking just causes jerky, erratic movements. Next, you have to do a rapid assessment. How big is it? Is it moving? Can I swerve safely? Then you need to slow down, but gently. You want to use the brake to scrub off speed, not to lock up the tires.
And what if you realize you just can't avoid it, or if it's huge?
Then you have to signal and communicate. Hazard lights on, immediately. Alert the drivers behind you. If the obstacle is, say, a fallen tree, you need to come to a complete, controlled stop. And for something that significant, you absolutely have to alert authorities right away to prevent anyone else from hitting it.
Now let's zero in on the number one nemesis of our cars, the pothole. They are everywhere. They cause blowouts, destroy suspensions. The advice here is really counterintuitive. How do you hit a pothole correctly if you can't avoid it?
This detail is one of the most important takeaways from this whole deep dive. If you can't swerve, the steps are very specific. First, slow down as much as possible before you reach it. Grip the steering wheel firmly with both hands.
Okay, and the counterintuitive part.
You have to release the brakes just before the moment of impact. This is the crucial step that minimizes the damage.
Release the brakes? That sounds terrifying. Why would I want to be coasting right as I hit a hazard?
It's all about the physics of the car. When you're braking, the vehicle's weight shifts forward. It compresses the front suspension, the springs and struts, and makes them rigid. If you hit the pothole with that suspension compressed, all that force goes directly into the tire, the rim, the suspension joints. That's what breaks things.
So by releasing the brake, you're actually using the car's engineering to your advantage. You're letting the suspension expand a little bit to absorb the shock.
Exactly. It allows the wheel to roll over the hazard instead of slamming into it. It makes a huge difference to the force of the impact.
So once we've taken that controlled hit, what's the post-pothole protocol?
Immediate vigilance. Listen for any weird noises, a sudden clunk, a persistent thumping. If the steering wheel starts pulling hard to one side, you probably have an alignment or tire issue. And as soon as it's safe, you need to pull over and visually inspect the tires. Look for bulges or cuts, check the rims for cracks. Suspension damage might not be obvious right away, so you have to monitor the car's handling for the next few days.
Let's pivot now from dealing with damage to the much more severe consequences and accountability. Because hitting an obstacle is bad enough, but creating one can be legally ruinous. First, about the vehicle damage. What are the hidden dangers that drivers often miss?
The physical damage goes way beyond just cosmetic stuff. We're talking about critical component failure. Suspension parts like struts and control arms can get bent or broken, and you instantly lose precise handling. But the really hidden danger is underneath the car.
The underbody damage, right. Tell us why a little scrape underneath can mean the end of an engine.
The most dangerous impact is to the oil pan. It sits at the very bottom of the engine, holding all the oil. If you rupture that thin metal casing, you will lose oil so fast. Without lubricant, the engine overheats, the metal parts grind together, and you get catastrophic engine failure, engine seizure in minutes. And that's not a repair, that's a total engine replacement. The cost is staggering. Same goes for a damaged fuel tank, which is an immediate fire hazard.
And the personal risk here goes beyond just whiplash.
Oh yeah, the major risk is a secondary collision. If you hit something, lose control, and swerve into the next lane, you've just turned a single car problem into a multi-car pileup. That dramatically increases the risk of serious injury and, of course, puts nearby pedestrians and cyclists in grave danger.
Now, liability. Let's say I'm driving and I forget to strap down a ladder. It flies off my roof and causes an accident behind me. What are my legal obligations the moment I realize what's happened?
You have an immediate, ongoing legal duty to mitigate that danger. First, you have to stop safely. Pull over without creating a new hazard. Second, you must do everything you can to warn other drivers. Hazard lights, warning triangles, flares, whatever you have.
What if it's a busy highway? Am I supposed to run out into traffic to grab the ladder?
No. You clear the obstacle only if it is safe and feasible to do so. The guidance is absolutely clear. Do not endanger yourself. your life isn't worth it. If you can't remove it safely, your duty shifts to immediately reporting the hazard to law enforcement. Give them a very accurate location.
And what's the financial exposure? Say my lost ladder causes a 4-car pileup with injuries.
The liability risk is immense. I mean, it's huge. Civilly, you could be held financially responsible for every single bit of damage and injury from that chain reaction. We're talking vehicle repairs, medical bills, lost wages, even pain and suffering. If you failed to secure your load, which is a legal requirement, it's pretty much seen as clear negligence.
So even hours later, if that accident is traced back to my ladder, I'm on the hook for all of it.
You are. And in severe cases, if there's a serious injury or death, you could potentially face criminal charges. Things like reckless endangerment or even vehicular homicide. Secure your load properly isn't just a good idea, it's genuinely an act of shared community safety.
That puts a huge premium on just tying your stuff down. Okay, let's look at a safety measure that's built right into the road itself to help with this. Rumble strips. We've all driven over them, but their engineering is actually very specific.
Rumble strips are an incredibly effective, low-cost solution to a massive problem: driver inattention. They're just textured patterns cut into the pavement, designed to give you two types of feedback: tactile, the vibration you feel, and auditory, the loud sound. Their whole purpose is to wake up or alert a driver who's drowsy, distracted, or just drifting out of their lane.
Let's clarify the 3 main types, because where they're placed dictates what they do, right?
Exactly. There are 3 primary types. First, you have transverse rumble strips. These are placed across the entire lane. They're there to alert you to a change up ahead that needs your attention, like approaching a stop sign, a toll plaza, or a big work zone.
So they warn you of things ahead.
Precisely. The other 2 warn you about what you're doing. You have longitudinal rumble strips, which are on the shoulder or edge line of a highway. You start to drift off a road, they give you that loud warning to prevent run-off road accidents. And the third type, center line rumble strips, are on the center line of undivided highways. They're critical for preventing head-on collisions.
And they are proven to reduce those crashes, which is a huge win. But the material also points out they're not a perfect solution. There are some compromises.
That's right. 2 primary things. First, noise. The sound they make can be really disturbing to residents who live near highways, so they have to be placed carefully.
And the user safety element.
That's about vulnerable road users. Rumble strips have to be designed with intermittent gaps. These gaps are crucial for motorcyclists and bicyclists. A continuous deep strip can destabilize a 2-wheeled vehicle and cause a crash. So by leaving those little smooth sections, it gives them a safe path through.
This deep dive has really highlighted that defensive driving isn't just a concept. It's a set of pre-rehearsed, often counterintuitive actions. Knowing the when, the seasonal risks, and the how, like releasing the brake for a pothole, that's the difference between a minor incident and a catastrophe.
That preparation is your key defense. If you understand the common obstacles and you have a clear plan for how to react, you just dramatically lower your risk and you increase your confidence in an emergency.
We spent a lot of time talking about avoiding external obstacles, things created by others or by nature, but we kept circling back to the fact that we're also responsible for the obstacles we create. So if securing your load is a legal and moral imperative, what other small, mundane vehicle checks, like just ensuring proper tire pressure or making sure your brake lights are clean and working, are actually these silent, profound acts of shared community safety? By maintaining your car, you're not just protecting your engine, you're protecting everyone driving behind you from an obstacle they might never see coming.
Drive alert, drive prepared, and stay vigilant.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.